Alright, hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to do a little tarantula arachnid setup tutorial. Show you how I like to set them up. This is a container I got from Walmart. I think I got it for it was around a little bit under $2 for 2 of them. They have a bunch of smaller containers too that were 4 of them for like $2, and they're great containers. The lids, I don't know if you can hear this. Oh, if I can get it on right. But the lids actually snap on really well, which that's what I was worried about, being cheap containers. But you can see they don't come up very easily. Great containers. So to start out, you need some holes for ventilation. Even if you have a tarantula or a scorpion that needs a lot of humidity, ventilation is still very important so that you don't get mold and stuff like that in your enclosure. So what I use, I mean, you can make the holes whatever you want. The easiest thing for me is a soldering iron, which I already made the holes, obviously. I'm going to show you how to do it. You just let the soldering iron heat up and you poke little holes. Depending on the size of what you're putting in there, you want to make sure not to put too big of holes if it's an enclosure for a tiny little sling, because this is definitely too big of holes for a sling. They can get out, I mean, depending on what size sling you're talking about. But yeah, so I kind of do my holes down the side, and I stop about here so I can get a good 2.5 inches of substrate. If you've got a burrowing tarantula, like a cobalt blue or something that's gonna need a bunch of dirt like up to here, you don't want to put the holes down there because the dirt's gonna come out of the side, obviously. So I would recommend just kind of doing the holes along the top. And then I also put some holes in the top for some more cross ventilation, just to make sure it really gets good ventilation. If you're doing some kind of tarantula that needs it really, really dry, you could put even more ventilation than this. You could even cut out part of this and put a screen on there. Anyway, over here I have my bucket of dirt, Eco Earth, the bricks, that's what I like to use. It's easy for me to store. I can buy a few at a time. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to fill that up real fast. Try to do it where I don't get dirt all over my living room, but you guys can still see it. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to put a live plant in here too, or how I like to do it, because I enjoy using live plants when I can. Yeah, oh, just got some dirt on my floor. Oh well, I need to vacuum anyway, probably. Alright, so that's enough Eco Earth for right now. Kind of break it up a little bit, make sure it's broken up, pack it down some. I'm going to be making this setup for a arboreal tarantula. I'm not exactly sure what I'm putting here, but I'm sure it's probably going to be one of my P. Armenia. And this size setup would be good for kind of GV tarantulas, or even something like a C. elegans or some kind of dwarf tarantula could fit in here fine. But yeah, if you're doing a terrestrial, I mean, this is just an example. You could get something like this. This actually is a little bit too big, but you can kind of bury it down in there and push the dirt around it. That way it's got a cave to go in. You can make your own cave. You could also take a piece of cork bark like this, kind of bury it down in there, so it makes a little cave down up underneath there. Sorry that this angle's weird. I've got the camera on a tripod. Yeah, but I'm doing it for an arboreal tarantula. So what I'm going to do, I've actually got 2 pieces of cork bark. And I like to set them up kind of like that, so that they can web up down in there and hide up in the sides. They really seem to like to do that. So actually this one needs to go a little bit lower, or else the lid is not going to close. Let's see if we can't lean it forward a little bit. So yeah, something like that. You can glue them together if you want. Whatever, that's perfect for an arboreal tarantula. Let me zoom in a little bit. Alright. Next to the plant, pothos are always the best plants to use in my opinion. They do really well. They don't need a whole lot of water, but they can also do well with a lot of water. And also they don't need a lot of light. So here it is. It's what I did is I went to the store and I bought a plant, and you take all the soil out and you can break it up into these smaller little pieces. And this one's kind of been out of the soil for a minute, so you can see it's starting to wilt, but it'll be fine. So yeah, I'm just going to bury it way down in this corner right here. Make sure and get the roots way down into the ground, get soil around it. Now, Eco Earth doesn't have a whole lot of nutrients in it, I wouldn't think, for the plants. I've noticed that the plants die pretty easily in here, and the tarantulas don't really excrete a whole lot of waste for fertilizer. I've noticed if I put it in a snake cage, I've got some pothos in a cage with some small snakes, and it does very well because the snake's defecating, taking crap, snake's a lot of fertilizer. So what I do is I go to Walmart and get these little house plant fertilizer sticks. It was $1 and you get all these. There's also other brands, but I like this brand because it's $1. Miracle Grow I think were like $2, but they actually, I don't really like Miracle Grow that much. So here I broke a stick in half, being this is a really small cage. I didn't feel like it needs a whole fertilizer stick. If I was doing a bigger cage with a bigger plant, I would put a whole fertilizer stick in there. But yeah, this will do. And you just stick it down in, I don't know if you can see, you just basically shove it down in the dirt, down by the roots, and that'll last for like up to 6 months, supplying fertilizer to it. So yeah, that's my basic little tutorial on arboreal tarantula setup. This cage really could work for arboreal or terrestrial, but I just happen to have a lot more arboreal tarantulas. So yeah, I'll fix it up and make these a little bit more stable, but for the sake of the video, that's fine. If you have any requests, if you see another one of my cages that you'd like a tutorial done on, let me know and I'll do it. And stay tuned for some more videos.